can give you a bunch of reasons for that. I just didn't know if you want to go more specific.
I don't really know what to ask.
It's up to you. You can ask. Honestly, you can ask from both sides. I can play devil's advocate. I don't give a fuck. So.
Are you streaming, Austin? Yet?
Alrighty, welcome everybody to the stream. As you know, that's Austin. My name's Josh. The other dude on the mic, his name is Sped, apparently. Or maybe that was Austin. I don't know who the fuck that was. Anywho, I guess we're doing a little mini debate. I'm kind of playing devil's.
I'm a Democrat. Changed my mind.
Okay. So, why are you a Democrat? Let's start there. In what reason?
Fuck Trump.
Is it strictly because of his character or his policy? Or both?
I don't know. Everything that I know is about him is bad, so yeah. I don't really know much.
Did you know that before the COVID situation that we had the record lowest unemployment in almost all communities, especially African American, Asian, and...
That's not true.
Obama
actually did great things for this country. I don't know what you're talking about.
The only thing that Obama did for this country was come up... The only thing Obama ever did for this country was come up with a broken system of healthcare that ended up charging people that originally had great healthcare money to pay for people that couldn't afford healthcare. So,
I'm sorry, sir, but that's just not true.
Look up
Where'd you get that information? Fox News?
No, I got that information actually from ABC, NBC, and CNN because they reported on it twice. The difference is that their titles sounded a little bit better than mine.
I simply just don't believe you.
I mean, you can do your own research. Honestly, I highly advise you to. I think all people should be free thinkers and not just go with what somebody tells them like a puppet, but... honestly, I believe that a lot of
Excuse me, I identify as an attack helicopter. You need to use my pronouns. I am not a Muppet.
What are your pronouns?
Just so
they, them, and it.
Just so everybody knows, on my stream, they are on GTA. And
yes, and I just lost Bogdan because I was too busy trying to fucking think off the stupidest shit I've ever heard.
I am an attack helicopter. That's all you hear is I'm an attack helicopter.
Alright, fire away another racist, untrue statement.
Oh, you want to talk about racist statements? We could start with the actual biggest true statement ever, that the Democratic Party was the founders of the KKK and also didn't want to free slaves, so...
I think you're the founder of the KKK. You're just using that to cover it up, you racist piece of shit.
I'm the founder of the KKK. I'm 22 years old. The KKK is more than 30 times how old I am, so,
You're lying. The KKK is a new institution to kill black people.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, just like the Proud Boys are a racist organization. Okay.
Yes, they are. They're very racist.
Can you tell me who is the runner of the Proud Boys, or who's one of the majority CEOs? Do you know?
No, I don't. I just know that they're racist.
Really? Because last time I checked, 2 of their owners, or majority owners, are actually African Americans, so... In what way would a racist
they're racist black people.
They're racist.
That is the thing that exists. Racist
are you
black
going to start calling them Uncle Toms and Coons like you tell all Republican supporters that are African American?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, because that's not racist. Or how about the fact that you guys
No, it's not racist, actually.
Let's get on the fact that you guys decided that it was a good idea to make sections and targets strictly because of who owns the businesses. Because you think people only buying black-owned businesses isn't racist?
No, it's not.
In what way? If you buy something strictly because of the people
by the definition
that
of racism, it's not racist.
Buying a product...
you can't be racist if you're black.
That is false and actually very toxic to the American community.
I should bitch
Saying that one group
that.
of people can't be racist is by far the most toxic thing I've ever heard come out of anybody's mouth.
I can't do this anymore, I'm sorry.
Oh no, but
can't-
keep going. I want to hear this bullshit of a statement.
No, I'm sorry, I can't do this anymore.
Exactly, bitch. This is what you get for being a Democrat.
Well, and I just think it's the funniest thing in the world that the people that say that they're absolutely inclusive and, you know, we should love all people are the first people to call gay people that don't support Trump some of the harshest words you can. Or, for example, a lot of black people that support Trump get called Uncle Tom, Coon, House N-word. Like, they just get absolutely called the worst names possible just simply for the fact that, you know, they support somebody that has a different belief than them.
Mm-hmm.
So, not to mention, I'm just waiting for all the Democratic candidates that they've had in the last 5 years to get charged for treason. Hillary Clinton had a trial on Thursday, actually. Nothing's came out yet. I'm still waiting on that. Joe Biden.
Hillary Clinton for prison.
Hell yeah, that's
Shit,
on my
Hillary
pick.
Clinton for the chair.
Hillary Clinton for the chair. Chair to the face.
Shit, in my opinion, she should go to Guantanamo. Although I think she'd end up killing herself just like she did, I don't know, what, 12 other people? No, 14. Name one other person you know that has had 14 of their nearest associates commit suicide. I'll wait.
No one.
It's not a coincidence.
John Hwick.
It's also not suicide. John Wick did not have them commit suicide. He just
John
killed
Wick
him.
didn't have associates. 14. I don't think he even had. If he did, he didn't have 14.
No,
I was
his
like, that is
dog
not
was
true.
his
He had his dog.
associate.
And his
Okay,
dog got
yeah,
murdered, not suicide.
Yeah, as a baby.
His dog was
That
his
poor dog.
associate.
That dog was so cute. But anywho,
Yeah.
no, I mean, it is rather interesting that when you look at anything throughout history that has been put in place to take down African Americans, besides, I'll give you guys Jim Crow because that was a majority law, but almost anything else was strictly done by Democrats. Like, you want to talk about why African Americans mainly live in, as we call them now, ghettos, which is actually a term that was invented in Nazi Germany for the Jewish communities. Anywho, kind of fucked up that they call it that, but whatever. No, the reason why that happens is because Lyndon B. Johnson's Model City program, where he was like, oh, well, what we should do is redline it to where certain groups of people stay in certain parts so they're around individuals that are like themselves. Only issue with that is, when you look at it, it was literally just made to keep African Americans down because then they can't get home loans or open businesses in anywhere that wasn't in those areas. I don't know if you've been to a ghetto, but
I
they're
literally
not-
live in one. I live in one.
I was like, they're not very high trafficked. Almost none of them are by an interstate unless it's off of an interstate that nobody really gets
Mine
off of for
is.
business.
Mine is off of one.
Does anybody get off of that interstate for business? Is there a subway or any kind of
Yes.
real interesting
Yeah,
fast
and I
food?
mean, okay, so where I live, it's trafficked because there's a road that goes right through it that goes to another like, I guess white neighborhood. You could like, I don't know. It goes to another neighborhood that isn't a
Yeah.
ghetto, but that's the only reason.
So it's trafficked because it leads to another neighborhood, not because it
Yes.
has a vast amount of business or influence.
No, there's nothing here.
Exactly.
And anything there is here, you don't want to go to. Because of
Well,
the
that's my
shop.
point, is that literally these things were put in place by the Democrats to keep African Americans down. And for the fact that they call us racist, us meaning Republicans like myself and James, and Austin's not necessarily a Republican, but he does have more conservative values when it comes to certain things. And I also think that it's ridiculous that if you look at it, especially from a logistical standpoint where they are on maps, Planned Parenthood, 99.8% of Planned Parenthoods are in poor income areas. And normally those are the ghettos where a lot of African Americans reside. Therefore, that is part of the reason that the African American community, actually take that back, African American women, while only making up 6% of the population, somehow has 33% of the abortions. I forget how you switch the plane. Isn't that right on the D-pad?
Yeah.
Yes.
Why is it not switching? Hold on.
Hold it.
I've been holding it.
Oh.
I don't know either. Whatever. I'll just fly it this way.
Yeah, you fly it that way.
Like, hold it for a second and then, like, go. I don't know. There
Oh
we go.
Jesus! But no, between Lyndon B. Johnson's model city,
Whoops. 14 me.
the Obama administration putting in Obamacare, which honestly, when you look at it, especially from some of the stories I've heard, I don't know how true these are. I'd have to do more
I mean,
research into them. But I've heard stories that people that have had serious like surgeries with Obamacare and then have tried to pay off their loans are told that they cannot pay them off. They have to wait until they die to be able to pay them off. And normally that means
what?
that you can't get a
What?
home mortgage, or if you do, they're going to foreclose your house just to pay off your loans. Once again, I'm not exactly sure how true these are. I've heard 4 different stories that it is, but I would have to do more personal research to let you know if that is facts. I have just heard stories from people that say
Also,
that, and those people are actually liberals.
another thing about Obamacare, it's a good idea, but it was poorly executed, like
It wasn't
horribly
even a good
executed.
idea because when you think about it,
Well,
all you're
I
doing
mean,
is charging more people for more things. See, here's my issue:
no, no,
is
no.
that
That
everybody,
that falls under the execution part, Josh. It's
yes,
a
I
good
get that.
idea, but it
Sure,
can't
it's a
work.
great idea to make healthcare cheaper. I mean, yeah, of course. It'd be a great idea to make healthcare free if, free was actually a thing and taxpayers didn't have to
Yeah,
pay money for it like they did
it's a good
Obamacare.
idea, but it can't work.
Or like in Canada, for the simple fact of everybody's like, yeah, Canada's healthcare is great. Besides the fact, let's say you roll your ankle, you then have to wait at least 8 weeks to get an X-ray, and then on top of that, once you get your X-ray back, about a week to 2 later, then you have to go schedule another appointment, which probably won't be for another 6 to 8 months. So the Canadian healthcare system's fucked, and they're charged ridiculous amounts. Their gas prices are at least or not at least on average are $2 higher than Americans, and that was before we started fracking and getting our own oil from the United States, so that way we didn't have to traffic it over, water, which you'd think that people would be more on board with since we were getting a lot of our crude oil from Middle East. Now we're getting it from our own backyard, which you don't have to worry about oil spills in the ocean that way. But
Don't forget your clothing.
yes, I'm also a large advocate, at least from what I've heard. I need to do more research on this too, but from everything I've heard, nuclear power is actually a
Dude.
great way to go. Mainly
Seven.
because there are hundreds of thousands of plants. James, I can't close.
What do you
Turn
mean?
off your system.
I'm trying. I'm trying. It might have worked. I don't know.
Unplug.
Anywho, my but I don't know if I got it. I'm not sure. My system literally was lagging
As
so
long as
fucking
you
hard.
get it in the cutscene, you're fine.
Okay. But no, the interesting thing to me is just there are hundreds of thousands, or there's no, it's 565 nuclear power plants, and out of all of those, only 3 of them have had severe issues. One of them, Chernobyl, was because they did not understand how a nuclear reaction really worked. A lot of their safety protocols were outdated, and therefore
Okay,
that was actually what led to the issue. And they didn't even clean up the nuclear waste, which then led to the pollution into the surrounding areas. Fukushima was hit by a typhoon, which was one of the worst typhoons ever recorded in the world's history. And then the other one, which was what, 3 mile or
what
5 miles, something
if
like that.
nuclear war happens and blows them all up?
Well, once again, normally, if they're made correctly, nuclear facilities are made with 5-inch thick concrete, and so if they get blown up, it's not like it's going to add too much more.
Oh, I
Like
just
the
noticed my M4 is 83. That's
the
tits.
explosion of a nuclear power plant versus the explosion of like a hydrogen bomb is less than a hydrogen bomb. Therefore, if one was to land on it, yes, there would be more radiation poisoning in the vast area, but it's not like the blast radius would take it further. You know what
Well,
I mean?
no, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like
It would knock out power if that's solely what they were relying
nuclear
on.
winter.
Is that the
Like it'd
AV
just be a whole lot more nuclear explosions. Like, I'm saying, I don't know if this is like
Well, at this point,
true or not, but like it
the thing is that if you're
would it
going to go off
would it
that logic, we have enough nuclear bombs to blow up the world 13 times over.
well,
So you
yes, but
really
like
think
I'm saying
blowing up a nuclear plant is really going to
no, no,
change
no.
that? If
I'm
we're
saying
going to
like
nuclear war, it's done. Like,
say like I don't know if this is true or not, but say you blow up one plant and then it starts a chain reaction to a bunch of others. All you need is one bomb to do so.
Well, there's kind of a reason that the plants are based so far apart from each other.
I mean, yeah.
So that logically doesn't make any sense unless somehow you created a scatter bomb that you could hit one general area and take out multiple, but a scatter bomb of that size would have to be, because what, normally they're spaced out by at least 60 miles, if not more. Normally it's about 120, but 60, we'll just call it rounded. So we'll go to 60 and give it the low end. A scatter bomb that would hit in a general area and scatter 60 miles out in all directions would be one of the most difficult things to pinpoint where it's going to go. Because you could hit directly next to the nuclear power plant and do literally nothing. You would have to put it straight through the center to where it actually goes through the concrete, hits where the reactor is hard enough to make it explode. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Or then
Like
I saw this in a
if we were
TV
going to
show.
go to nuclear war, if we were going to go to nuclear war, we have enough nuclear weapons that if everybody fired theirs off at the same time, we could end Earth and still have enough nuclear weapons to do it 13 more times.
Yeah, which is
So
terrifying.
I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of nuclear weapons. I understand why they were created.
I don't think we should have nuclear weapons at all, unless we're like in a battle with people from another planet in space.
What makes you think that they would die from a nuclear blast? Like, we don't understand.
It's just a big ass explosion.
That's assuming that these aren't like some sort of weird sun creatures.
Well,
what
yeah,
the fuck?
I know. I'm just like.
That's the point. Is we don't know.
The most destructive weapon we have is a nuclear weapon currently. So that's why I said.
I don't know. The most destructive weapon I would say that we have is people in just our own minds.
Okay, yes,
from
but
the simple
I'm
fact
saying
that we
like
can come up with almost anything to destroy almost anything. Like if we really wanted to, we could find something way more effective than a nuclear weapon. Just because nuclear weapons are kind of a pain in the ass to keep and to use correctly.
They're also expensive.
Yes, which is why I'm saying honestly, if you wanted to make something more effective, I'm pretty sure we already have, but nonetheless.
Also, I've heard that like now they're coming up with ways to, or like a bomb that just kills people and doesn't harm the environment at all.
Yeah. Well, there's been so many different speculations, but they're coming out with weapons that do the same thing. Like there's been talks of weapons that strictly go off of sound waves, and basically when it hits something that is soft matter, like a person, it can go through their skull and destroy their brain literally with less than like 2/10 of a second of it being fired at them. Like can literally basically make their head explode just via sound. Once again, not sure how far that is.
Can we change the subject, please?
For what?
Something other than fucking whatever fucking. No, I'm not getting fucking scared. I'm getting bored of this fucking shit. It's just getting annoying.
I don't know. I find it quite interesting.
Oh, dude, I can't tell you how many countless times. Like, I won't say that I'd have conversations with myself because it's never like a full conversation. But there are definitely times where I sit there and I do research by myself and I like take and write down notes and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. This is interesting. Like, I don't know. To me, not even just politics, just global interactions in general is a very interesting thing to me.
Politics I can handle. It's just random shit I can't handle.
Yeah. Well, speaking of politics, another thing that I think is fucking hilarious is the fact that during the first debates, there was talk about how Trump was like, well, you're in China's back pocket and shit, and that China said that they would pick you as their presidential nominee. And after the coronavirus, do you really think that that's a viable thing? This, that, and the other. And so CNN, dumbass, goes and fact check it. Goes to fact check Donald Trump's statement, and so they took it from Donald Trump says that China wants Biden to win, and turns it into China says that they don't want Donald Trump to win. And I was like, that's literally the same fucking thing. I was like, if there's only two people running,